Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 3 Week 20. I am recording this early and I haven't done this yet because we're leaving tomorrow to go to Florida and surprise our kids with a Disney trip. So really excited about that, but I won't be here next week, so I haven't done all this yet. So it is for my tutor, so I will tell you what I've got planned and hopefully it'll be helpful to you. So for geography, we have the canals, which is way easier than all the trails we had last week, for sure. Also, they're all in one kind of location on the map, which I think makes them a little bit easier. So what I have down to do is just to go through. I like to color them in on my big map before I get into class, and then also color them in on the kids' maps so that they can find them more easily in class. If you are using one of these maps, this does make it a little bit easier because it has the colors on it, but we are using just the black line maps, which my kids have been drawing all over, but we're just using the black line maps. So they're easier to see, but they're a little harder to tell them exactly where they are sometimes. So do make sure that you're pointing out what states they're in, because I think that really helps. Obviously, Pennsylvania Canal, if you find Pennsylvania and the one that's in there, Pennsylvania, if they can remember where the Chesapeake Bay is, then they can find the Chesapeake and Erie or Ohio Canal. And then if they can remember where Lake Erie is, it can help them find the other canals. I do not know why the Miami and Erie Canal is called that, because it does not connect to Lake Erie, but point that out to them and tell them that that's the one that doesn't connect. So, and they can maybe remember that. I don't know. But so I go over all of them, point to all of them. And then I have little figures that I left there. But you can use any kind of little figures. I love using Hatchimals. If you happen to have a little girl that has a bunch of Hatchimals, they work really great because they're tiny. But then we just have them bounce around to the different ones. And I might point to one and say, oh, which one's this one? Pictures on this one and tell me what it is. And so they'll stick theirs, and maybe I'm pointing to the Erie Canal and they'll stick their Hatchimal on there and say it's the Erie Canal. So that's what we do for geography. For timeline for this week, I'm gonna have them hide the cards around the room, and I sing through the timeline song, and then they find the cards while I'm singing through. Each kid finds one. I have 7 kids in my class, so that works out well. So each kid finds a card. Once they find it, they're supposed to come and sit down with it, and then we go through and do the hand motions. So, and as I call out each one and do the hand motion, they hand me their card and we lay them all out so they can see all of them. So we have Australia becomes a Commonwealth. So we're gonna do the sign for Australia, which is super fun. You're going to have your hands, so it's gonna be like you're making an 8 in sign language, but it's your middle fingers and your thumbs, and but it's gonna be kind of more like they're flicking. You're gonna come up and then flick like this, so you kind of feel like you're picking something up and then flicking it. And it's a sign. That's a sign for a kangaroo jump, like a kangaroo jumping. And that's so cute. So Australia becomes a Commonwealth like this. And then we have Mexican Revolution. So you're gonna make an M, which is 3 fingers over your thumb, and you're going to kind of stroke what I guess they used to be. I'm sorry, my children are being crazy in the background. They used to stroke their mustaches. So, well, they didn't used to stroke their mustaches, but you're supposed to be stroking like your mustache that used to be common in Mexico. So Mexican, and then our sign that we've done for revolution is 2 R's, and one's pointed on the other, and you're kind of going around and touching the top. So I end up having both fingers going, but it's revolution. Okay. Then, just like you see the abbreviation for World War I, we're going to do World War I. And then we're going to make the sign for president. So the sign for president, you're going to have 2 flat hands. They're going to be facing you. And you're going to cover your face, and then you're going to pull them back like this. Okay? So covering your face and pulling back like that. So that's president is the sign. So President Wilson. We have Lenin. We're going to do Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution. So we're going to do revolution again. And then we're going to do the sign for Russia, which is your hands like this, and you're going to hit them down on your hip bones. So both sides, your hands like this, just kind of tap on your hip bones. Okay. Then we have U.S. Evangelist Billy Graham. So we're going to take both fingers to the sides of our mouth, and we're going to act like kind of make the motion of our words going out. That's the sign for evangelism. So U.S. Evangelist. And then we're going to do a B for Billy, which is a flat hand with your thumb crossing over. And then a G, which looks like you're getting ready to pinch something, and it's kind of sideways. So Billy Graham. Okay. And then we have the modern period of the arts, and this one I think is a super fun sign as well. So we're going to go like this, which is kind of the sign for a person. So modern period of the arts, and we're going to have one hand facing us and then one hand out, and they're going to go like this. And this is the sign for confused. And if you think about Picasso, and that it was like what it was a person, but it was all messed up. That's kind of what I think about with this. So modern period of the arts. And then we have the Great Depression. So we're just going to push down like we're depressed. So Great Depression. And the New Deal, this one's really fun. You're just going to act like you're dealing cards. Okay. So in the New Deal. So that is the timeline for this week. For math, we have our last part of our geometry song. And since we're going to do the circumference, I'm going to have all the kids hold hands and we are going to go around in a circle, kind of like you would do with, well, I guess you don't really do it with London Bridge. The one, and they all fall down. Is that London Bridge? Ring Around the Rosie. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry. Ring Around the Rosie. When you go around, they all fall down. So I thought we would sing our math song and then all fall down at the end. So our math song, if you haven't heard it yet or you're not familiar with it, it says the area of a rectangle equals length times width. The area of a square equals length of its side squared s squared. The area of a triangle equals 1/2 base times height. The area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. The circumference of a circle equals 2 times pi times the radius. So I figured we would sing that while we are going around in a circle, making the circumference of a circle, and then we'll fall down at the end. So obviously, if you have little kids and they're getting a little too wild with falling down, you can, just not do that part. But I think it'll be fun, or maybe you can do it a couple times and then the very last time let them fall down. So that is math. For English, we have our independent clause this week, and I'm just going to use my handy dandy action sticks. I have action and voice sticks, so there's all different ones. The ones I left with my tutor have mostly voices on them, but that's fine. You can use voices or actions. There are some actions on there too. But we'll just go through. Again, I have 7 kids in my class, so I generally let each of them pick a stick or a card or whatever I'm using. And then I just quickly go around the classroom and say, okay, what does your card say? And I get it. And it's like, oh, it says volcano voice. All right. An independent clause expresses a complete thought like a sentence. And then I say, all right, who's got the next card? And then we do it, whatever. So it goes very quickly. We don't do it multiple times in one voice or one action. We just do it once and we just go right around the room. So I can usually get every kid in a turn with their card. So that is English. For history, this song has a lot of guitar in it, so I have my little plastic guitars that I got at the dollar store. I saw them there recently, so you may check that. They're $1 a piece, and they have like electric looking guitars, and then they have more acoustic looking guitars. I mean, so if you whatever your kids like. If you have the older kids, it's really fun to have them I like to have them tuck their arms into their shirts. I know it sounds weird, and get down on their knees and pretend like they're like a miniature person playing the guitar. So they just think it's funny to do that. But with older kids, they just like to strum and play on the guitar. They make just enough noise that it's satisfying for them, but not enough that it's so loud that they can't hear the song. So I'm just going to let them listen, strum on their guitars. They can walk around the room, whatever, however they want to do that. But we'll just listen to the song and play our guitar a few times. So for Latin, I am going to use my Leo the Lion with my Latin puppets. I will try to link down below a link to the printable for those. If you remember the fortune tellers you used to do in school, they fold like those, and then you glue a piece, and then they just kind of open and close with your fingers to be little lion mouths. So the ideas that I have were the lions say the Latin, and then the kids say the English, then have your girls say it, then the boys say it loud, say it soft, kids say the Latin, and then the lions say the English. So that should be 6 times plus the tutor saying it, which would give you your 7 for that. So this is a shorter sentence. And again, with Latin, I recommend color coding it so they can see the words that are matching, the words that are different, the words that are not there. And it just gives them, I think, a good visual for the translation. For science, I wrote out what do they have in Sinclair on different cards. and I'm going to lay them out on the table in the first order, and they're on different colors and different sizes, so I think that will help them place them. So we're going to read through them a few times, then have them close their eyes and mix a couple of them up and see if they can put them back in order. And then I might take a couple of them away and see if they can tell me what they said. And then I might mix them all up at the end and let them try to put it back in order. So they go through and see all the different pieces, so it kind of helps them piece together this sentence. So let's see, I think that's everything for this week. For orchestra, I have an orchestra video. If you haven't looked at that and you need some help on orchestra, I'll try to link to that down below. You're just gonna be listening to Tchaikovsky this week, which is super awesome. I love orchestra. It's great. 30 minutes of children needing to be still and quiet and peace for the tutor. It's such a gift. But if you haven't looked on CC Connected in the sandbox, there's awesome listening guide and listening map to follow along with, just help you get the most out of the experience. The listening guide has excellent ideas as a tutor for how to interact with this material and present it to the kids. So if you are needing help, I just highly recommend those. And then for probability, we'll be doing our candy. We weren't actually going to be using candy, and so we're going to be just pulling out different colored chips. Really have fun with probability. Like, let them get involved. It's basically a big game every week. Like, what do you think is going to come out of the bag next? Is it going to be white? Is it going to be blue? Oh, it's blue. There's not as many blue. We pulled out another blue. Oh my goodness! Just make it fun and exciting. Be amazed at every single thing you pull out of the bag. So, anyway, all right, guys, that is it for week 20. I will see you back for week 21 in 2 weeks. But I hope you guys have an awesome week, and we're almost done. Can't believe it. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.